There comes a point in every person's life when you stand face to face with a wall you can't climb, at least not yet. It's that silent moment when the world goes quiet and you realize no one is coming to save you. No hand is reaching out. No miracle is walking through the door. It's just you, your thoughts, your fears, and your choice. Do I give up here? Or do I rise, even when I don't feel ready? Because that's where unstoppable begins. Not when life is easy. Not when things are working. But when everything inside you screams to quit, and you whisper back, not today. Every legend, every achiever, every unbreakable soul you've ever admired, they weren't born unstoppable. They became unstoppable through nights of self-doubt, through rejection, through failure after failure that tried to bury them alive. And yet, they rose. Not because they had special talent, not because they had all the answers, but because they decided that giving up was no longer an option. You see, being unstoppable isn't about being the strongest in the room. It's about being the one who refuses to stay down. It's about falling 7 times and standing up 8. It's about showing up again, even when your heart feels heavy. It's about believing that the story isn't over, not yet. There's a fire inside you. Maybe life has tried to dim it. Maybe you've been told you're not enough, not smart enough, not experienced enough, not brave enough. But deep down, you know something no one else does. You were born for more. You can feel it, that quiet voice saying, there's greatness in me waiting to be unleashed. That's why you're here. That's why you're listening. Because something inside you refuses to settle. This audiobook is not just about success, it's about transformation. It's about learning how to keep moving forward when the road ahead feels endless and your strength runs thin. We're going to talk about fear, about faith, about pain, and perseverance. We'll uncover what it truly means to build a mind that never quits. And by the time you reach the final chapter, you won't just believe you can be unstoppable, you'll know you already are. So take a deep breath. Forget what didn't work. Release the pain of yesterday. Because right now, in this moment, your comeback begins. This is where you rise. This is where you become unstoppable. Chapter 1. The Decision to Rise. Every transformation starts with a single, silent moment of decision. Not the kind you announce to the world, but the kind you make alone, deep within your chest. When you're tired of being tired, tired of watching your potential slip through your fingers, tired of waiting for someone else to believe in you. That's when the voice inside you grows louder than the noise around you. And it says, enough, enough hiding, enough doubting, enough waiting for permission. That's the moment everything changes, not because the world suddenly gets easier, but because you finally decide, I'm done living below what I'm capable of. Every person who has ever achieved greatness began right here, not at the top, not in comfort, but at rock bottom, standing in front of a choice. Rise or remain, because life will always give you reasons to stop. It will whisper, you've failed before. It will remind you of every time you fell short. But there's another voice, quiet, steady, defiant, that says, this time is different. That voice is the spark of the unstoppable, and it's waiting for you to answer. To rise doesn't mean you have all the answers. It doesn't mean you suddenly feel strong. It simply means you choose movement over misery, progress over paralysis, courage over comfort. You get up, even when your legs shake. You speak, even when your voice trembles. You try again, even when failure feels permanent. Because the truth is this: every new level of your life will demand a new version of you. And that version is forged in moments just like this one, when everything in you wants to quit, but something greater says, stand up. Let me tell you something powerful. You don't become unstoppable by chance. You become unstoppable by choice. By deciding, I will rise, again and again, until I win. The people you admire, the ones who never seem to break, they have scars too. They've cried in silence. They've failed more times than anyone knows. But they made a decision most people never do. They refused to let pain have the final word. When life knocks you down, you have 2 options. You can stay on the floor, rehearsing the pain, or you can rise and rewrite the story. And when you rise, something incredible happens. The world doesn't immediately change, but you do. You become stronger. You start to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You start to believe in possibilities that once felt impossible. Because when you make the decision to rise, you ignite a force inside you that cannot be stopped by fear, failure, or time. Maybe right now, you're standing in your own moment of decision. Maybe you've been through hell, heartbreak, loss, disappointment. Maybe you've been pretending you're fine while breaking inside. Listen to me. This is not your ending. This is your beginning. The decision to rise is not about pretending life is perfect. It's about knowing life is hard and rising anyway. Because every time you rise, you teach your mind something powerful. You teach it that pain is temporary, but growth is forever. Every storm you've survived has been preparing you for this. Every closed door, every lonely night, every unanswered prayer, they weren't punishment. They were preparation. Preparation for strength, preparation for clarity, preparation for this version of you, the one who's ready to stop running from challenges and start walking through them. So here's the truth most people never hear. The moment you decide to rise, the universe begins to move. Opportunities start aligning, people start appearing, resources begin to find you. But none of it happens until you take that first step. Don't wait for the perfect moment, create it. Don't wait for someone to validate you, validate yourself. Don't wait to feel ready, you'll never feel ready. You'll only ever feel the pull to begin. And that pull, that quiet, persistent urge, is life's way of saying, it's your time. So rise. Rise when you're scared, rise when you're tired, rise when no one believes in you yet. Because soon, the same people who doubted you will look back and realize that your decision to rise was the beginning of something extraordinary. This is where your unstoppable story begins. Not when the world says yes, but when you say yes to yourself. Chapter 2. Breaking the Chains of Fear. Fear, the invisible prison that holds more people captive than failure ever will. It doesn't always scream, sometimes it whispers, quietly, softly, and that's what makes it dangerous. It hides behind logic, it disguises itself as being realistic. It tells you to wait for the right time. It convinces you to shrink, to play small, to stay safe. But deep down, you know it's a lie. You feel it, that restlessness in your spirit that says, I was meant for more than this. Fear doesn't stop you because it's powerful. It stops you because it's convincing. It paints vivid pictures of what could go wrong, but never shows you what could go right. It plays reruns of your past failures and edits out every victory you ever had. It keeps you chained not by strength, but by imagination. The truth is, fear is not your enemy. Fear is a signal, proof that you're standing at the edge of something that matters. It only shows up when you're about to grow. So if you feel fear, don't run. Lean in, because that's where the breakthrough lives. The people who change the world, they feel fear too. But they've learned something most people never do. You don't have to be fearless to move forward. You just have to be brave while you're afraid. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the mastery of it. It's standing in front of the same storm that scared you yesterday and saying, do your worst, I'm still going. Think about every great story you've ever heard, heroes, innovators, leaders, dreamers. They all had one thing in common. They walked through fear. Not around it, not away from it, through it, because that's the only way to destroy its power, to face it, name it, and step into it. You can't defeat what you keep running from. Maybe your fear wears a different mask. Maybe it's fear of rejection, fear of failing again, fear of not being good enough. Or maybe it's the fear of actually succeeding, of becoming the version of you that terrifies your comfort zone. Whatever form it takes, the process is the same. Acknowledge it. Breathe through it, then walk anyway. Fear loses its grip when you act in spite of it. Every small step forward is a declaration. You don't control me anymore. That's why confidence doesn't come before action. It's born from action. You build courage one decision at a time, one uncomfortable moment at a time, one, I did it anyway, at a time. Let me tell you something powerful. The walls fear builds are made of smoke. They look solid, until you walk through them. And when you do, you'll realize the monster wasn't real. It was your own mind, creating shadows from possibilities. There was a man who spent his whole life standing at the edge of a cliff, looking at the bridge to his dream on the other side. Every day, he told himself, tomorrow I'll cross. But every day, fear whispered, what if you fall? So he waited, and waited, until one day, he realized, his fear of falling had stolen the years he could have spent flying. Don't be that man. Don't let fear rob you of your life before it's even begun. Fear will always exist, but so will faith, and you can't feed both. If you feed fear, it grows. If you feed faith, fear dies of starvation. Here's the truth. You will never feel 100% ready. You will never have the perfect timing, the perfect plan, the perfect path. And that's okay. Start anyway, move anyway, speak anyway, show up anyway, because courage is not found in certainty, it's found in motion. Every time you take a step while afraid, you weaken fear's control over you. And one day, without realizing it, you'll look back and realize, you're free. You are stronger than your fears. You are bigger than your doubts. You are capable of walking through the very thing that once made you hide. So don't wait for fear to disappear, use it as fuel. Let it remind you that you're doing something that matters. Because no one ever felt fear while standing still. The ones who grow are the ones who move. So today, take one step. Even if it's small, even if it's shaky, even if you're still afraid. Because one step forward in faith is worth more than a lifetime frozen in fear. And that is how you begin to break the chains. Chapter 3. Discipline. The bridge between dreams and reality. Everyone has dreams. Everyone has moments of passion, flashes of vision, those late-night thoughts where you whisper to yourself, I'm meant for something greater. But only a few ever see it come to life. Why? Because between where you are and where you want to be stands one word that separates the dreamers from the doers: discipline. Dreams inspire you, motivation excites you, but discipline, that's what transforms you. It's what shows up when motivation disappears. It's what keeps you moving when emotions fade. It's what carries you through the days when your heart says, I can't, and your mind replies, yes, you can, and you will. You see, success is not built in moments of inspiration. It's built in routines, habits, small, quiet decisions that no one applauds. Discipline is waking up early when your bed feels like heaven. It's staying focused when distractions scream for your attention. It's saying no to what's easy so you can say yes to what's meaningful. The truth is, your feelings are liars. They change every day. One morning you wake up confident, the next, you feel like quitting. If your progress depends on your feelings, you'll never finish what you start. That's why unstoppable people don't rely on emotion, they rely on discipline. Because discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline shows up anyway. Think about an athlete who trains before sunrise. No one's watching, no applause, just sweat, silence, and repetition. Or an artist who spends years perfecting their craft in obscurity. Or a student who studies while others party. They all share the same secret. They've learned that greatness is not a moment, it's a lifestyle. Every repetition, every sacrifice, every act of consistency builds momentum. And that momentum becomes power. There's a lie our generation loves to believe, that motivation is the key to success. But motivation is fragile, it's emotional, it's temporary. Discipline is different. Discipline is truth. It doesn't fade when you're tired. It doesn't vanish when you fail. It stands firm and says, keep going. You've come too far to stop now. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's not loud. It's not flashy. But it's the quiet strength behind every unstoppable story. It's what turns talent into mastery. It's what makes ordinary people extraordinary. It's the invisible bridge that carries you from intention to impact. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. You're training your future self to be stronger than your current weakness. And slowly, almost silently, you become someone new. Your habits evolve, your focus sharpens, your results multiply, not because you were lucky, but because you were consistent. So if you want to become unstoppable, don't chase motivation. Build systems, build structure, build habits that carry you when emotions fail. Set your alarm, write your goals, stick to your schedule, keep your word, even when no one is watching. That's how you earn self-respect. That's how you earn momentum. That's how you earn results. There will be days you won't see progress. Days when effort feels invisible. Days when you wonder if it's worth it. But remember this. Discipline doesn't always show its reward immediately. It compounds over time. Every workout, every late night study, every hour spent mastering your craft, it's all adding up, even when you can't see it yet. The difference between who you are and who you want to be is hidden in what you do daily. And discipline, that's the bridge. So ask yourself, what bridge are you building today? Are your habits carrying you closer to your dream or keeping you chained to where you are? Because life won't give you what you wish for. It will give you what you're willing to work for, day after day, without excuse, without quit. Be the one who doesn't wait to feel ready. Be the one who moves, builds, and grows anyway. Be the one who stays consistent, even when no one claps. Because one day, the world will, and they'll call you what you were always meant to be, unstoppable. Chapter 4. Reprogram your mind, the power of mental transformation. Your life will always rise or fall to the level of your mindset. No matter how strong your body is, no matter how perfect your plan looks, if your mind is weak, your progress will always collapse under pressure. But if your mind is strong, truly trained, reprogrammed, and locked on your purpose, you become unstoppable. Every thought you think plants a seed, every word you speak waters that seed, and every day, your habits decide which seeds grow: faith or fear, power or weakness, confidence or doubt. You see, your mind has been programmed since birth. By your environment, by the people you listened to, by the failures you experienced, by the voices that told you what you couldn't do. And if you don't take control of that programming, it will control you, quietly, completely, and constantly. To become unstoppable, you must reprogram your mind like a warrior rebuilding his armor, piece by piece, belief by belief. You start by becoming aware. Awareness is the first step toward transformation. You can't change what you won't confront. Ask yourself, what beliefs are limiting me? What stories am I repeating that no longer serve me? What habits have I allowed to define who I am? Maybe you were told you're not good enough. Maybe you failed once and decided you were finished. Maybe you've been living in survival mode so long that success feels foreign, even frightening. But here's the truth: you are not your past. You are not your pain. You are not the mistakes you made. You are the awareness that can rewrite it all. To reprogram your mind, you must first take control of your input. What you watch, what you read, what you listen to, who you spend your time with. Your brain is a sponge, and it doesn't filter truth from trash. If you keep feeding it fear, gossip, negativity, and noise, you'll live your life on low frequency, tired, uncertain, distracted. But if you feed it purpose, learning, and growth, your thinking begins to change. And when your thinking changes, your life follows. You must also change the way you speak to yourself. Because your words are programming commands for your subconscious mind. Stop saying, "I can't." Stop saying, "I'm not ready." Stop saying, "Maybe one day." Replace them with, "I can. I am capable. I'm doing it, now." When your language shifts, your energy shifts. And when your energy shifts, doors open that were once invisible. Next, visualize. See yourself already living the life you want. Feel the confidence. Feel the peace. Feel the success. Your mind doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. So when you visualize your goal daily, your brain begins to align your behavior to make it real. Visualization is not fantasy, it's mental rehearsal for greatness. You reprogram your mind by repetition. The same way a song gets stuck in your head, truth can get stuck in your soul. Repeat empowering affirmations daily. Read your goals out loud. Listen to messages that lift you higher. Every repetition rewires your neural pathways, shifting your default thoughts from doubt to discipline, from fear to faith, from survival to success. This isn't magic, it's mental engineering. And remember, the mind loves comfort. It resists change because change feels like danger. That's why growth feels uncomfortable. But discomfort isn't a sign of failure, it's a sign of evolution. It means your brain is rewiring. It means your old patterns are breaking. It means you're stepping into a higher version of yourself. So lean into discomfort, welcome it, use it, let it be proof that you're growing. The most powerful people on earth didn't just change their habits, they changed their minds. They decided to think differently. They decided to believe when it made no sense to believe. They decided to speak life when life gave them every reason to quit. That's what separates the average from the unstoppable. Not talent, not luck, not money, but a reprogrammed, relentless mind. So today, make a choice. Not just to dream, not just to hope, but to reprogram your mind for greatness. Guard your thoughts, speak with intention, feed your focus, challenge your doubts, because the battlefield isn't out there, it's within you. Win the battle in your mind, and the world will never be able to defeat you again. Every unstoppable life begins with one quiet decision: I refuse to think small anymore. Say it, live it, and become the person your future self will thank you for. You are reprogramming, you are rising, you are becoming unstoppable. Chapter 5: Mastering Emotional Control. How to stay calm under pressure. Pressure reveals who you really are. It strips away the mask, the talk, the appearance, and exposes your foundation. Some people break under pressure. Others bend but don't break. And a few, the unstoppable ones, they rise. They grow sharper. They transform pressure into power. Every great person you admire, from athletes to leaders to visionaries, has one thing in common: emotional control. They've mastered the art of staying calm in chaos. Because life will test you. People will test you. Situations will test you. And in those moments, how you react decides whether you rise or collapse. The truth is, emotions are not your enemies. They're signals, not commands. They tell you how you feel, but they don't decide what you do. Anger, fear, frustration, disappointment, they're all natural. But emotional control means you acknowledge them without surrendering to them. It's the power to feel deeply without being dragged by the current. When you lose control of your emotions, you lose control of your focus. And when you lose focus, you lose your direction. Every outburst costs energy. Every reaction steals time. Every emotional decision pulls you off your path. Unstoppable people know this. That's why they respond. They don't react. They breathe before they speak. They pause before they move. They think before they act. Because power is never in reaction, it's in response. To master emotional control, you must first master awareness. You can't manage what you don't recognize. So when emotions rise, don't fight them, just observe. Notice your triggers. Notice the patterns. Notice what sets you off and why. Awareness is like switching on the light in a dark room. The danger doesn't disappear, but now you can see it clearly. Once you can see your emotions, they can no longer sneak up and control you. Let me tell you a truth: calmness is a superpower. In a loud, reactive world, calm people stand out. They make better decisions. They gain respect. They win in silence while others waste energy reacting. When you stay calm under pressure, you disarm chaos. You take the power back. How do you stay calm? You build your emotional control in peace, so you can use it in chaos. It's not about pretending to be emotionless. It's about training your nervous system to stay steady when life shakes you. You do that through practice, daily, small moments of patience, forgiveness, gratitude, and restraint. You do it when someone offends you and you choose not to react. When frustration hits, and you choose to breathe instead of explode. When fear whispers, quit, and you whisper back, not today. That's how strength is built, one choice at a time. Your emotions are like waves. They rise, they fall, but you are not the wave, you are the ocean. You are the stillness beneath it all. When you remember that, you stop drowning in temporary feelings and start directing their energy toward your purpose. Anger becomes fuel, fear becomes focus, pain becomes power. That's the transformation of the unstoppable mind. In the middle of pressure, you'll be tempted to react fast, to defend yourself, to fight back, to prove your worth. But remember, the loudest person in the room is rarely the most powerful. Power is presence. Power is composure. Power is the ability to stand firm while everything else shakes around you. When others lose control, you stay centered. When others panic, you stay grounded. When others give up, you breathe and move forward anyway. That's control. That's strength. Mastering emotional control doesn't mean you'll never feel pain. It means pain will never define you. You'll still have moments of doubt, moments of frustration, moments of fear, but they won't rule you anymore. Because you'll know how to use emotion, not be used by emotion. The greatest warriors aren't those who conquer others, they're the ones who conquer themselves. So the next time pressure rises, remember this: calm is not weakness, it's strength in disguise. Stillness is not surrender, it's power waiting for the right moment. Master your emotions, and you master your destiny. Because emotional control isn't about being perfect, it's about being present, aware, and unshakable. Chapter 6. Building Unbreakable Confidence. How to believe in yourself when no one else does. There will come a time in your journey when no one will believe in you. No applause, no validation, no reassurance, just silence and doubt. And in that silence, you'll face the most important question of your life. Do you believe in yourself, even when no one else does? Confidence is not born from people cheering for you. It's forged in moments when nobody does. It's built in the quiet, when you keep going despite the whispers of doubt. When you show up even when you feel invisible. When you trust your ability to grow, even when you haven't seen the results yet. That's unbreakable confidence. You see, most people think confidence means walking tall, speaking loudly, looking strong. But that's surface level. Real confidence doesn't shout, it knows. It's that inner stillness that says, I can handle this. Even when life gets chaotic. Even when fear is screaming louder than faith. Confidence isn't pretending you're fearless, it's knowing you'll act, even if you're afraid. The world teaches you to seek confidence, to look for it in approval, in likes, in titles, in appearance. But real confidence doesn't come from what you gain. It comes from what you remember. You were born capable. You were born worthy. You were born enough. You don't need to prove your value. You need to remember it. The reason most people never build confidence is because they wait for it before taking action. But confidence doesn't come before action, it comes from action. Every time you step forward in fear, you earn a piece of confidence. Every time you try something new, you collect another piece. Every time you fail and still keep going, you add another layer. That's how confidence is built, not in theory, but in movement. Think of a child learning to walk. They fall again and again. But each fall teaches balance. Each stumble teaches strength. If they stopped after the first fall, they would never walk. But they don't stop, they rise again. And soon, walking becomes natural. That's how confidence works. You build it by doing the things that scare you, over and over, until they no longer do. Confidence isn't perfection, it's permission. Permission to show up, permission to make mistakes, permission to grow. You don't become confident after you succeed, you become confident because you dared to begin. So stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for others to approve. Stop waiting for the perfect time. There isn't one. The moment you act, you begin to prove to yourself that you can. And that's where true confidence is born. But listen, confidence is not arrogance. It's not thinking you're better than others. It's knowing you have something valuable to offer. It's quiet power. It's humility with backbone. It's faith anchored in effort. Arrogance says, I'm already enough. I don't need to grow. Confidence says, I'm enough, and I'm still growing. That's strength. There will be moments when your confidence is tested, when failure hits harder than expected, when criticism feels personal, when rejection makes you question everything. In those moments, don't let your confidence rest in outcomes. Anchor it in identity. You are not your results. You are not your setbacks. You are the person who keeps rising despite them. Let me tell you something powerful. Every person who ever achieved greatness once stood where you are, uncertain, afraid, overlooked. They didn't start with unbreakable confidence. They built it, brick by brick, moment by moment, through repetition, through faith, through resilience. They learned that belief is not a feeling, it's a choice. And they chose to believe, even when the world doubted them. So if no one believes in you right now, good. That's your opportunity to learn self-trust. That's your moment to build inner power. That's your time to stand up and say, I'll believe until I make them believe. You don't need permission to shine. You don't need validation to grow. You don't need support to begin. All you need is to believe in yourself enough to take one more step. Confidence is not given, it's earned. And the only way to earn it is to keep showing up. So keep standing tall, even when you shake. Keep moving forward, even when you doubt. Keep speaking life over yourself, even when no one else does. Because one day, the same people who didn't believe in you will ask how you did it. And your answer will be simple. I believed when no one else did. Confidence is not found, it's forged, and once you build it from within, no one, and nothing, can take it away. You are not broken, you are becoming unbreakable. Chapter 7. Turning Failure into Fuel. How to grow stronger from every setback. Failure, a word so many people fear, yet it's the one word that every success story is built on. You cannot become unstoppable without walking through failure. Because failure is not the opposite of success, it's the foundation of it. Somewhere along the way, society taught us that failure means we're not good enough. That it's the end, that it's proof we should give up. But that's a lie. Failure isn't a wall, it's a mirror. It shows you what still needs to be refined, what still needs to be learned, what still needs to grow within you. It's feedback, not finality. Every champion you admire has a record of failure that would shock you. They failed more times than most people ever tried. They stumbled publicly, they fell privately, but they refused to stay down. That's the difference. The unstoppable don't avoid failure, they use it. They let it sharpen their focus, strengthen their character, and deepen their hunger. Failure has a voice. It whispers, stop, you're not capable, you've done enough. And every time you rise again, you silence that voice. You prove that your purpose is stronger than your pain. You see, pain will test your commitment. Failure will test your identity. But both will teach you, if you're willing to listen. When you fail, you face a choice. You can let it define you, or you can let it refine you. You can use it as an excuse or as an education. The moment you choose growth over guilt, you reclaim your power. Because failure doesn't break you, it reveals you. It shows the cracks that need reinforcing. It shows the habits that need strengthening. It shows the mindset that needs evolving. Think about Thomas Edison. He failed thousands of times before the light bulb worked. When asked how it felt to fail so much, he said, "I didn't fail 10,000 times. I discovered 10,000 ways that didn't work." That's what it means to use failure as fuel. It's not about what went wrong, it's about what it taught you. Every setback carries a secret, a lesson, a strength, a redirection toward your destiny. But only those with open minds can hear what it's trying to say. Here's a truth most people don't realize. Failure doesn't destroy you, quitting does. You can fall 1,000 times, but as long as you keep rising, you are still in the game. Every great story has chapters of failure. And when you refuse to give up, those chapters become the most powerful part of your legacy. Because when you fail and stand back up, the world sees something rare: resilience. Failure will humble you. It will strip away your ego. It will test your patience. But it will also introduce you to your true self, the one who doesn't give up easily. The one who learns faster. The one who becomes unstoppable through endurance. If success builds your reputation, failure builds your character. And character will always carry you further. So how do you turn failure into fuel? You start by reframing it. Stop saying, "I failed." Start saying, "I learned." Stop asking, "Why me?" Start asking, "What is this teaching me?" Every setback is a setup for strength. Every disappointment carries direction. Every mistake hides a message. But you must be patient enough to find it. Write this truth in your heart: there is no growth without failure. There is no maturity without mistakes. There is no strength without struggle. Failure is not a punishment, it's a process. It's how life molds you, shapes you, prepares you for the weight of your destiny. Because destiny doesn't trust the untested. It trusts the refined. It trusts the one who's been broken and rebuilt stronger. That's you. So when you fall, don't stay there. Wipe your tears. Gather your lessons. Stand tall. Because every time you rise, you're sending a message to your future: I'm still here. I'm not finished. And one day, those same failures that once hurt you will become the stories that inspire others. You'll look back and realize it all had a purpose. Every no, every loss, every heartbreak, it was building something in you that success never could. Remember, failure is not fatal. It's fuel. Use it, burn it, let it drive you toward your destiny. Because the only real failure is the one you stop learning from. You haven't lost, you've just begun. Chapter 8. The Power of Persistence. How to keep going when it gets hard. There comes a moment in every journey when everything feels heavy. When your progress slows down. When your motivation fades. When quitting whispers in your ear, telling you it would be easier to stop. And it's true, quitting is easier. But persistence is what separates the ordinary from the unstoppable. Anyone can start, few people can stay. Anyone can get excited in the beginning. But persistence is what carries you when excitement dies. Persistence is what keeps you standing when the world shakes around you. It's what keeps your fire burning when the wind of doubt blows hardest. It's the art of moving forward when your mind says, "You can't," and your heart answers, "Watch me." Persistence doesn't mean you'll always feel strong. It doesn't mean the road will be smooth. It simply means you'll refuse to stop walking, even when the road feels endless. Every breakthrough you'll ever have is hidden behind the wall of persistence. The problem is, most people give up 3 feet before the goal. They stop just before the moment that would have changed everything. But not you. You're learning to endure. You're learning to press on. You're learning to keep moving, no matter what. There's something sacred about persistence. It transforms struggle into strength. It turns pain into purpose. It takes weakness and turns it into wisdom. Persistence is not glamorous. It's not loud. It's the early mornings no one sees. The long nights with no recognition. The countless attempts that end in silence. But every act of persistence builds invisible momentum. And one day, that invisible momentum will explode into visible success. You see, the universe doesn't reward the fastest, it rewards the most faithful. Because persistence is faith in motion. It's believing that if you keep showing up, something good will eventually come. And that belief, that quiet, unshakable belief, is what moves mountains. Let's be honest, persistence is not easy. There will be days you feel tired, Days when your mind tells you it's pointless. Days when no progress is visible. That's where most people stop. But unstoppable people, they push through that wall. They remind themselves that slow progress is still progress. That showing up tired still counts as showing up. That one more step, even a small one, can change everything. Because persistence isn't about perfection. It's about presence. It's about showing up, again and again, until the door finally opens. Think of nature. A seed doesn't break through the soil overnight. It faces darkness, pressure, resistance. But it keeps pushing upward, quietly, patiently. And one day, it breaks through. Not because it was the strongest seed, but because it refused to stop growing. That's persistence. The seed doesn't question how long it will take, it just grows. And you, too, must grow, even when it feels like nothing's happening. Because every day you persist, you're planting something powerful inside you. Resilience. Resilience is the reward for persistence. It's the proof that you can endure and still evolve. It's what makes you unshakable in a world that keeps testing you. Persistence will ask for sacrifice. It will test your patience. It will demand consistency when you're running low on faith. But it will also reveal your strength, the kind of strength that doesn't fade with feelings. And when you look back, you'll realize that persistence didn't just change your situation. It changed you. It taught you discipline. It taught you humility. It taught you courage. Because persistence isn't just about reaching a goal, it's about becoming someone capable of earning it. Remember this: the road to success is always under construction. There will be detours, delays, and disappointments. But every step you take is one less step you'll need tomorrow. So keep showing up, keep giving your best, keep moving forward, even when it feels like you're crawling. Because persistence doesn't require perfection, it only requires continuation. There will be moments when you'll want to stop, when no one claps, when no one sees your effort. But that's exactly when you must whisper to yourself, "I've come too far to quit now." And keep going. Because persistence is not about how fast you reach the finish line, it's about refusing to stop until you get there. The most unstoppable people are not the most gifted, they are simply the most persistent. So when it gets hard, and it will, don't quit. Breathe, rest if you must, but never stop. Because persistence is not what you do once. It's what you do again, and again, and again, until your victory becomes inevitable. Chapter 9. The Power of Vision. Seeing Beyond the Struggle. Vision is the light that guides the unstoppable. It's what keeps your feet moving in the dark, your faith alive in uncertainty, and your soul focused when the world tries to distract you. Without vision, life becomes routine, a repetition of days that mean nothing. But with vision, every day has direction. Every step has purpose. Every sacrifice has meaning. The truth is, most people don't fail because they lack potential. They fail because they lose sight of where they're going. They forget the why. They forget the picture that once set their soul on fire. When your vision fades, your motivation dies with it. But when you keep your vision clear, when you can see the life you're chasing, even when it's not yet real, you become unstoppable. Vision is not just about seeing with your eyes. It's about seeing with your heart. It's about believing in a future that your current situation doesn't yet reflect. It's standing in the middle of chaos and saying, "I know where I'm going." You might not know how you'll get there. You might not know when it will happen. But you know, deep inside, that this path, this mission, is yours. Think about every great person you've ever admired. Every dreamer, every leader, every world changer. They all had something in common: a clear, unwavering vision. They saw it before others could. They believed it before it made sense. They built it before it was visible. That's what vision does. It allows you to create tomorrow, today. But here's what they don't tell you about vision: it will be tested. There will be seasons where nothing matches your dream, where your reality looks nothing like your expectation. And in those moments, vision will ask you, do you still believe? When your dream feels distant, that's when your faith must become your sight. That's when your imagination must become your strength. Because the vision is always tested before it's trusted. Some people lose their vision because they start listening to people who can't see what they see. You must protect your vision like treasure. Don't let small minds talk you out of big dreams. Don't let temporary pain blind you from eternal purpose. The vision you carry was given to you, not to the crowd. And that means only you can protect it. Vision is not something you wait to see, it's something you work to see. Every day you show up, you're clearing the fog around your dream. Every challenge you overcome, you sharpen your focus. The clearer your vision becomes, the stronger your direction grows. When you have vision, failure doesn't destroy you, it refines you. Setbacks don't break you, they redirect you. Delays don't discourage you, they prepare you. Because vision teaches patience, it gives pain a purpose. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine the life you were meant to live. Not the life others expect from you, but the one your heart whispers about when it's quiet. What do you see? Who are you becoming? What kind of energy surrounds you? Hold that picture, because that picture, that vision, is your map. It's your North Star in the storm. It's the reason you wake up when the bed feels warm and the world feels cold. That vision is proof that there's something greater waiting for you, something that will make all this worth it. But remember, vision without action is just a dream, and action without vision is just movement. You need both, the dream and the discipline, the belief and the behavior. Your vision gives you direction, and your discipline keeps you on the path. Together, they make you unstoppable. When you feel lost, return to your vision. When you feel weak, remember your why. When you feel distracted, look at where you're going, not where you are. Your current situation is temporary, but your vision is eternal. See beyond the noise, see beyond the doubt, see beyond the pain, and remind yourself every day, I was not born to wander. I was born to walk in purpose. The power of vision is the fuel of the unstoppable. It lets you walk by faith, not sight. It turns confusion into clarity, and struggle into strategy. So don't just dream, see the future you want, feel it, believe it, speak it, and work toward it until it becomes your reality. Because when your vision is strong enough, the obstacles become invisible. Chapter 10. The Circle of Influence, Surrounding Yourself with Power. Show me your circle, and I'll show you your future. The truth is simple. You become like the people you spend the most time with. Your energy, your habits, your mindset, your expectations, they all reflect the company you keep. If you surround yourself with dreamers, you'll start to dream bigger. If you surround yourself with doubters, you'll start to question your own potential. You don't need to cut people off with anger. You just need to grow so much that you naturally rise beyond the limits they set. Every person in your life is either a battery or a drain. They either charge you with belief, or they pull from your energy until you feel empty. And sometimes, it's the people closest to you who can't see your greatness. They'll remind you of who you were, instead of who you're becoming. But you can't let their limited vision define your destiny. Because your circle should not just be comfortable, it should be challenging. It should stretch you, inspire you, and call you higher. Think about it, iron sharpens iron, and dull people can't sharpen your edge. You need voices that push you forward, not ones that pull you back. You need conversations that ignite your passion, not gossip that drains your purpose. You need friends who remind you of your goals, not distractions that make you forget them. Every time you connect with someone, you exchange energy. So ask yourself, after spending time with them, do I feel drained or driven? Do I feel inspired or insecure? That answer will tell you everything. You can't build an unstoppable life with people who are comfortable being average. If they don't believe in discipline, they'll call your consistency obsession. If they don't understand your purpose, they'll call your passion madness. And that's okay. Not everyone is meant to walk your path. Some people are chapters, not destinations. And that's part of growth, learning who belongs in your next level and who only fits in your past. But don't misunderstand, your circle doesn't have to be perfect. They just need to be progressive. Surround yourself with people who talk about ideas, not people. Those who dream about possibilities, not limitations. Those who celebrate your growth, not your mistakes. Because unstoppable people feed off one another's energy. They don't compete, they collaborate. They don't envy, they encourage. They don't mock, they motivate. That's the kind of environment where greatness grows. You need mentors who see beyond your potential and call out what's hidden inside you. You need peers who run beside you, keeping your pace sharp and your focus steady. And you need mentees, people you help, because teaching keeps you humble and grateful. That's the healthy circle, one that pours both ways. You receive, and you give. You grow, and you help others grow too. Because if you're the smartest person in your circle is too small. There's something powerful about proximity. Sometimes you don't even need advice, you just need presence. Being around winners makes you think differently. Their energy, their discipline, their mindset, it rubs off on you. You start to believe that greatness is normal. And when greatness becomes normal, average becomes uncomfortable. That's when you know you're evolving. But here's the truth. You'll have to distance yourself from certain people. Not because you hate them, but because you love your peace. You love your growth, you love your destiny. You're not rejecting them, you're just protecting what's sacred. And in time, some of them will be inspired to rise with you. Because true leadership doesn't always speak, it shows. So, take inventory of your circle. Who lifts you up? Who drains you? Who challenges you to grow? Who keeps you stuck in who you used to be? Be honest, because your future is being shaped by the people you let influence your present. You can't have a millionaire mindset if you spend every day with people who think broke. You can't build confidence if you're surrounded by insecurity. And you can't walk in purpose if you're surrounded by confusion. Choose your company with wisdom. Because your circle is the silent architect of your destiny. The circle of influence will either be your anchor or your engine. It will either hold you down or push you higher. So surround yourself with power. Surround yourself with growth. Surround yourself with people who remind you that you are capable of more. Because when you align yourself with the right energy, your entire direction changes. You move differently, you think differently, you believe differently, and that's when you become truly unstoppable. Chapter 11. The Courage to Begin Again, Rising After Every Fall. Failure. It's a word that terrifies most people. It's the shadow that follows every dream, the whisper that says, "What if you fall?" But what the world calls failure, the unstoppable call feedback. It's not the end of your story, it's the beginning of your comeback. Because the true measure of strength is not how perfectly you perform, but how powerfully you rise after you fall. Life will knock you down, again and again. You'll lose things you thought you'd never lose. You'll face disappointments that shake your core. And in those moments, you'll be tempted to give up, to believe that maybe your dream wasn't meant for you. But listen, every fall carries a message, and every ending hides a new beginning. Falling doesn't make you weak. Staying down does. The courage to begin again is what separates the broken from the reborn. Sometimes, starting over feels like defeat. You look at how far you've come, and you wonder, do I have the strength to do this again? But here's the truth. Starting again doesn't erase your past, it redeems it. Every lesson, every scar, every setback becomes the foundation for a stronger version of you. You've been through storms that others couldn't survive. You've walked through pain and kept your heart open. You've seen failure up close, and yet you're still standing. That's not weakness, that's resilience. That's what unstoppable looks like. Sometimes life has to strip you down so it can rebuild you right. Sometimes the dream has to fall apart so you can see what it was really made of. Maybe you lost something, a relationship, an opportunity, a sense of direction. But maybe what you lost wasn't meant to last. Maybe it was only preparing you for something greater. Because life doesn't take from you to break you. It takes from you to teach you. You see, the universe rewards those who refuse to stay down. It respects those who rise again, even with trembling hands and a weary soul. Each time you rise, you send a message. I may be wounded, but I'm not finished. And every time you begin again, you rewrite your story. Failure turns into wisdom, pain turns into power, loss turns into legacy. Think about a phoenix. It doesn't fear the fire. It uses the fire. It rises from the ashes, stronger than before. You, too, have that power. You can rebuild, you can restart, you can rise. The courage to begin again is the most powerful form of strength. Because it's not born from confidence, it's born from pain, from humility, from faith. It's saying, I've been through the worst, and I'm still willing to try again. The truth is, no one who ever made history did it without falling. Every champion was once broken. Every leader once failed. Every visionary once doubted themselves. But they all had one thing in common. They refused to let the fall define them. They stood up, they adjusted their crown, and they walked again, this time wiser, stronger, more determined. That's what you must do. Don't let guilt tie you to yesterday. Don't let fear keep you from trying again. And don't let failure convince you that you're not enough. You are enough. You've always been enough. You just needed to fall to remember your strength. Sometimes the greatest blessing is not that you avoided the fall, but that you survived it. And survival gives you something priceless, perspective. Because once you've been broken and rebuilt, nothing can break you the same way again. You are not starting from scratch. You are starting from experience. You're starting with wisdom you didn't have before. You're starting with strength you earned in the fire. So don't be afraid to rebuild. Don't be afraid to begin again. Because this time, you're not who you used to be. You've evolved, you've expanded, you've endured, and now, you are unstoppable. The courage to begin again is the soul of resilience. It's the silent whisper that says, I'm not done yet. So rise, even if it's slow. Try again, even if you're scared. Dream again, even if it hurt last time. Because your story isn't over. It's only beginning anew. And this time, you're not just chasing success, you're becoming it. Take a deep breath. You've come far. You've faced the fire. You've walked through the storms. And yet, here you are, still standing. If you've listened this far, then you already know the truth. The power you've been searching for was never out there. It was always in you. Unstoppable isn't something you become, it's something you uncover. Somewhere deep inside, beneath the doubt, the pain, the fear, there lives a version of you that cannot be broken. A version that believes when no one else does. A version that fights when everyone else gives up. A version that keeps rising, no matter how many times it falls. That's who you truly are. That's the real you, the unstoppable you. You see, being unstoppable isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about persistence. It's about choosing to move forward even when you don't feel ready, even when the world doesn't believe in you. It's refusing to settle, refusing to shrink, refusing to let life silence your fire. Because every great story is written by someone who didn't quit when it got hard. And now, this is your story. The world doesn't need another copy. It needs your voice, your ideas, your strength, your light. So don't wait for permission. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start where you are, use what you have, and give everything you can. Because when you move with purpose, the universe moves with you. Remember this, you were born to overcome. You were designed to grow. And no matter what comes against you, you carry within you the strength to rise again. When you forget your worth, return to your vision. When you feel lost, remember your purpose. And when you fall, rise again, stronger, wiser, unshakable. Because unstoppable is not a destination. It's a decision, a daily decision to keep going. So walk forward with your head high. Speak life into your dreams. Protect your peace, and surround yourself with those who make you better. You've come too far to stop now. This is your time, this is your season, and this is the rise of the unstoppable you. This has been an Audiobook Hub 11 production, where words awaken purpose and stories transform lives. If this message moved you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, live it, and let it remind the world that the power to rise again is already within you.